it's a movie. I don't care about the cost, just throw me the tag and I'm fucking right off. I hop in that jacket, I'm skirting right off. I've been fucking your bitch, but it's just for the. Ooh. Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Brand Lil Man. I'm back with another video, bro. And by the title, you already know we finna get in today. Before we even get started to this video, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel, bro. And if you're new to this video with your friends and your family, bro, you're on the road to 1K. We at 918. Make sure I watch this video from the beginning to the end so we can get them watch hours up, bro. And we just gonna go dive straight into the story, bro. I'm gonna give y'all the full story, not the short story, because I want y'all to understand everything that I'm saying. For the people that probably don't know what it is, I didn't know what it was at first. So when I was younger, I was very fat. I was a very fat kid. And as I started to get older, I started to lose weight. I lost a lot of weight. I started to get real skinny. And y'all probably in the comment section like, what is he talking about? That happens for most people. When they get older, they get skinny. But no, I'm pop up a picture when I was a fat little boy, and then when I got older, when I got a little skinny. Let's get more into the story so y'all can understand why I said those two things in the beginning of the video. So around my 7th grade year, I'm born in Chicago, and I was raised to around my 7th grade year. I moved to Arizona with my grandma, and we stayed with my auntie. And 4 months later, my mom, my stepdad, and my little sister came down to Arizona, and we got our own place, and we stayed down there from 7th grade year to the middle of sophomore year. Now, from 7th grade year to freshman year, I've had problems. I had problems with my body. Now, I've been to the doctors. I've been to multiple urgent cares. If y'all don't, I don't think they have an urgent care in some places, but basically what an urgent care is basically like a veterinarian place where dogs and pets go to, but for humans, basically to get like check up on and stuff like that. So I went to multiple urgent cares, multiple doctors. And the reason why I did that because every time I went, when I be going to sleep, sometimes I would wake up and I have red stuff gushing out my nose, and when I'm sleeping, it'll sometimes gush out my nose and stuff like that. And sometimes it'll be very hard for me to breathe, so I have to take like breaths and stuff like that. Like I could walk like a couple steps and then I would just be out of breath completely. I couldn't breathe. My throat was always stopped up, stuff like that. Sometimes I couldn't breathe out my nose. Sometimes I couldn't walk, I couldn't run and stuff like that. I get tired very, very easily. And every time I went to the doctors and urgent cares, they always told me that I had bronchitis, a type of asthma, something like that. I had a type of asthma. And they gave me an asthma pump, and they just sent me right away every time I went. Around my freshman year in high school, I went to a high school called Thunderbird in Arizona. Now, one day I was walking home from school, and I was by urgent care, and I was by like this, basically like a little mall area. They had GameStop, Payless, urgent care, a barber place right there. They had GameStop, they had, and a bank. They had all that stuff. It was like one of those little mall sections, you know. If you're from Arizona, you know what I'm talking about. Or Chicago, for me, it's like one of those little parking lots like a whole bunch of stores in it, basically. When I was walking home from school, I went through a little cut. Basically, you don't have to go through like the main street. You can just go through the back of all the stores. I went through the back, and as I was walking, I started to like lose my consciousness, and I fell out for like 5-10 minutes. And when I woke up, it was a person helping me, and I called my mom, off my phone. The person typed it in for me. I called my mom off my phone, and I told her I had passed out. She asked me how I was. It took my mom like 5-10 minutes to get me. And they called the ambulance because I couldn't move. Now, when my mom got there, she called the ambulance. I got in the ambulance. My mom got in there with me and my stepdad. And as we were in the ambulance we went to the hospital and all that. They checked up on me, and they said the same exact thing. They all said that I had bronchitis, I had a type of asthma. It was no big deal. So from my freshman year to my sophomore year, I transferred from Thunderbird because I didn't want to go there no more. My sophomore year, I went to a totally new school called North Canyon. Now, when I went to North Canyon, I had the same types of problems. When I would go to sleep and I would wake up, I would have red stuff gushing out my nose, and I have it all over my bed and everything. And I wish I had like better pictures to show you guys than me actually in the hospital. My mom, she didn't want to send me all the pictures because she sleeps. So I only have like a couple pictures I can show y'all. I can show y'all like the picture of me like at Gary Coleman Hospital. And I took a picture on my phone, but I couldn't show y'all the full thing. I'll pop a picture up right here. It's Gary Coleman High School. So basically, Gary Coleman Hospital, whatever it's called. When my sophomore year when I was in North Canyon, it was the same thing as I was saying. I was gushing out red stuff out my nose. I couldn't breathe. They gave me an asthma pump, and that was it. Now, I've been telling my mama I wanted to move back to Chicago ever since we got to Arizona. It just wasn't for me. I just didn't like it there. It was boring. It was too hot, stuff like that. So I didn't really go outside because it was like 100 degrees every day. Like, I'm not gonna be walking outside in 100 degrees every day. And I already passed out once before. Now basically, between the middle of sophomore year, I think it was like 2018 around April, I want to say, or before that, we moved back to Chicago. Once we moved back to Chicago, like 2 weeks after we've been here, my mom took me and my sister to the doctor. Now I was mad because I told her like there's nothing wrong with me. I feel good. I feel better, right? My uncle dropped us off. He went to the hospital. We stayed there for a cool 2-4 hours, you know. We got checked up on. They had run a CAT scan on me to check on my body because my mom went there and told them everything that happened to me while I was in Arizona. I got my CAT scan or whatever, and they said I was good. So me, my mom, and my sister, we waited on my uncle, and we drove all the way back home. He dropped us off, and I want to say like. And the same things that I was telling you about the rest of gushing out, it was still happening to me. Like I couldn't breathe. It was stuff stuck in my throat. Sometimes it felt like food was stuck in my throat. Sometimes when I would drink, I felt like something was stuck. And yeah, the same things that I was talking about in Arizona was still happening when I moved back to Chicago. And after we left from the doctors and everything, they dropped us off. I want to say 2 to 3 days later, the doctor called my mom's phone. Yeah, the doctors called my mom, and they told us that they wanted me to come back in. And she said, okay, we came back in the next day. As we come back in, we wait on the doctor. The doctor gets us, he takes us in a room. And the doctor sits me down on the table, you know, check my breathing and stuff like that. And our doctor said that I had a rare condition. And my esophagus, or my esophagus was closed. For the people that's not watching, that don't know what esophagus is, an esophagus is something that's inside your stomach. It's basically where all the food and the stuff you drink goes through to get down to your stomach and makes it able for you to digest. And my esophagus was closed. Basically, your esophagus has to be open for things to travel, so that things can travel between your stomach to be able to get digested. Basically, my esophagus was closed. And everything was stuck. Basically, it was stuck all inside my throat. That's basically the reason why I was vomiting up red stuff all the time. He told us this, and he said that I'll have to get surgery. He said, before we even get to that, when he told us this, he said that it was a very rare condition for somebody of my age. I would have to say, this happened in 2018 and 2020. I was 16 at the time. This happened I would like to say it probably happened my beginning of my sophomore year or the early of my junior year. It was one of those, but it happened. I remember the date exactly. It happened. My surgery date was February 27th of 2018. That's the exact date of my surgery. When we were in the hospital, the doctor, he told me it was a weird condition for my age at 16 because it normally happens for older people with their esophagus. And he told me that I have to get surgery and stuff so I could get better. Now, basically, 2 weeks come by, and a day is here. Day 1 in the hospital. I didn't have surgery this day. I had surgery the 3rd day. They had to do 2 procedures on me. Basically, and I'm gonna tell you what the procedures that they had to do. When I got there, they checked up on me. I had to take my clothes off. You know how that is. You get in there, Day 1, the procedure, day 1. When I was in there, basically, I went in a room with the woman, and a woman had like a metal thing. I don't know if it was. I think it was a camera or something. The woman had a metal thing, and she numbed my nose, and she stuck the metal thing all the way down my nose. Like, bro, it had to be like this long, like literally, no exaggeration. It was like this long, bro. It wasn't like that wide, but it was that long, and it was skinny, bro. She had to stuff that thing all the way straight down my nose, and it went down my throat. And I think it was basically like a tiny type of camera to see to see what was going on inside, and that's basically what they did to monitor me. And then the other procedure, she stuck, bro, like she stuck a tube down my throat. That's both of them was very nasty. I tasted them, bro. She stuck a tube down my throat, and basically what she did when she stuck that tube down my throat, she got everything that was clogged up in my lungs. Like all the food, all the Chinese food, McDonald's, everything was stuck in my throat. It didn't get past my throat, basically. So she had to get a tube, and they sucked everything, all the juices, all the food. They sucked everything out my throat so I can be able to get my surgery now. Here comes surgery day, February 27th, the day I was able to get surgery. February 27th, before I went to this little, it's like this room that you go to before you actually go to surgery. And it's like the last place where you can see your family before you go into the surgery. This day, I was crying, bro, because I was scared. I never been through surgery before. I didn't know I was going to make it, didn't know if it was not. But regardless of that, I was still scared. It was my first time, so I broke down, started crying, and I ain't did that in like a year or some months or something like that. I was in a room. My uncle was there. My aunties was there. My mom was there. And the first time in some years, my dad came and I seen him face to face. That was the first time I seen my dad in like years. I broke down, started crying. And then the doctor said it was time for me to go in and get my surgery. And as he's pushing me, my mom's walking with me, and they said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't go no further." My mom started crying. She said, "I love you." And I said, "I love you too." And then as they pushing me inside the thing, I get in there with all the doctors. They had all the things. I was in the room just looking around. And he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Good." And he said, "What's your name?" And I told him my name. He was like, "Well, you're not going to feel anything at all. I want you to count to the count of 3 with me, and then everything's going to be done." And then we started counting. He was like, 1, 2, 3. And then I completely fell asleep. I fell asleep. No joke. I fell asleep. When he counted to 3, I fell asleep. I didn't feel a thing. Like, I woke up hours later, bro. Like, I don't know what happened. They put me to sleep. So when I woke up, I was in a waiting room. I guess they was waiting for me to wake up. And the doctor came, and the doctor saw me. And the doctor took me to the room to where my mom was at. So, yeah. And then, yeah. And then I was in the room. And then I went back to sleep. I passed back out. I went to sleep for like probably 15 minutes later, 15 more minutes. And when I woke up, I was back in the room. I seen my mom, I seen my auntie, I seen my uncles. They was all in the room making sure I was good. They was making sure I was good. And I had woke up now for like months, like probably 2 months straight, bro. I couldn't do, when I was in the hospital for like the next couple of days, I had to drink straight liquid type food. So I only drink smoothies type stuff. I couldn't eat. I was only able to drink. So I had to drink type like smoothies type of things. And I couldn't eat soft foods. I can only eat soft foods, no hard foods. So like, I was only able to eat mashed potatoes type stuff. And then drink smoothies. When I was in the hospital, a couple of days I was in the hospital, bro. Like, I could barely walk. My mom had to help me to go to the bathroom. I could barely get up. I had to hold on to grab onto things. And I had to like move like I was an old man walking like this, shaking and everything, bro. Because I couldn't stop shaking. I was shaking while I was moving. And then I would shake at like random times sometimes. Like, I would just shake. And one time when I was in the bed, bro, I started shaking like crazy, like shaking, like having seizure type shaking. I haven't had a seizure since I was a little baby, and basically something had happened. I had like a reaction to something. I had a type of reaction I just started shaking and I couldn't stop. Like I kept telling the nurse I couldn't stop. I grabbed the nurse's hand and I told her I couldn't stop shaking. I couldn't stop shaking. Like I couldn't stop. It was just happening and I couldn't stop shaking. And she grabbed my hand and she was calming me down. And then eventually, like 5 minutes later, I stopped shaking and I calmed down a little bit. I guess my body had a reaction to something. And my mom was scared. So she called the nurse and I grabbed her hand and I told her I couldn't stop shaking. And she calmed me down. So they released me from the hospital like a couple days later. And when I got released, when I got home, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't play basketball. I couldn't lift weights for like months. I couldn't eat hard food. I only had to eat soft food. I could only drink I could only drink smoothie type of drinks. I couldn't really do anything. I missed school. I had to miss school for like some weeks or some months until I felt better. And I have stitches. I have stitches on my stomach. I don't think y'all could. Y'all could probably see it. I got a stitch. I don't know if y'all see this or not, but let me see. I don't know if I can see this or not, but I got like 5 stitches. I got one right here. They were like butterfly stitches. They go away on their own. I got one. They did surgery on me right here, right here, right here, right here. They had to do surgery on 5 and right here. It's everywhere that they had to do, like go inside me to fix my esophagus. They went in 5 different parts of my stomach to fix my esophagus. And then I had like butterfly stitches. Basically, butterfly stitches that go away on their own. I don't have to peel them off for nothing. Basically, months later, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do nothing. I had to eat smoothies, you feel me, mashed potatoes. And I want to thank my mom for being there for me through the whole thing, because I was scared and I know she was scared too. And she haven't left me. She stayed 24/7. The only time she left is when she had to go get herself something to eat or to take a shower, because she was there for so long and she wanted to clean her body. And then when she did leave, my uncle was there with me to stay with me and watch over me to make sure I was good. So they was like rotating to watch me and stuff like that. My uncle, he's been like a father figure in my life when my dad wasn't there. So I appreciate him for that. I want to thank my mom, my uncle, and my auntie for being there to check up on me while I was in the hospital. And I want to thank my cousins, you know, that texted my phone and called me when I got out the hospital. Just let them know I love them and stuff like that. And that's basically the whole story of how I almost died, bro. When I be talking about that subject, bro, I tend to get a little emotional. I don't know if y'all can see me if my eyes are on the camera or not, but when I talk about that, I get a little emotional because I could have been dead. I didn't know if I was gonna be here or not to continue, but I don't really like to do all that breaking down stuff. I just keep it in. So I'm gonna end this video. That's the end of this video, man. If y'all made it this far, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We're on the road to 1K, and I'm out.
My life is a movie, I don't care about the cost. Just throw me the tag and I fuck it right off. I hop in that jacket, I'm skirting right off. I've been fucking your bitch, but it's just for the